welcome to episode 4. Today I'm going to be going over, or this is going to be a part 1 of many parts for obtaining materials for future projects. So today I'm going to start on cores. Cores are usually for making sure the either weapon or prop is on a supported foundation that will hold up the weight and it's not flopping around. So the first on my list is PVC. PVC is used in pretty much any weapon, prop, or LARP weapon. They're real lightweight. They're you can find them at pretty much any hardware store. They come in different sizes, thicknesses, lengths, and I believe with some of the bigger named like the bigger name places like Lowe's, Home Depot, I think they will cut it down for you, but don't hold me to that. But PVC, my personal opinion, I have no problem with PVC. I really haven't gotten into a project that required, well, I take that back. With my arrowheads, I do use PVC for the foundation, and so I can put them on the arrow shafts themselves, because usually with my arrowheads, I make them modular, so if the shaft breaks, you can easily take the arrowhead off and put it on a brand new one. But my personal opinion on PVC, yeah, they're great. They're lightweight. They're excellent for like cosplay weapons. However, the con to it is, especially in heavy hitting LARPs such as Dagger, Antguard, and Belagarth, I would not suggest PVC because it can shatter. I mean, you can reinforce it with either electrical tape or hockey tape or whatever, but regardless, if you're getting in those heavy whacks, it'll end up snapping. The second one is fiberglass. Fiberglass comes in two types. There's hollow, which is kind of like a tube, and then solid, which is mostly what I use. I don't have hollow, but I do have solid. Solid is like this, minus the covered in foam part, but that's what a solid looks like. The difference between hollow and solid. Hollow, it doesn't take as much effort to cut when you have such a big piece and you need to cut it down to whatever you need, as opposed to with the solid, it'll take a few tries, especially with a hacksaw. But like the PVC, the fiberglass does come in different thicknesses. I can't remember them all because it's so wide. but the ones that I use, I can't remember how thick they are. I want to say half an inch, maybe less than that. But you can get fiberglass rods. You can get like pretty lightweight ones for like if you want to do like a plastic dip or a latex weapon. You can get like driveway markers that you can pretty much find anywhere. Either Lowe's, Home Depot, even Walmart has them. And then the thicker stuff that you would need for like sturdier LARPs, and such as the previous three that I just mentioned. Pardon me. You can find the thicker ones. You can either get those online. I will put a couple of links in the description below for a couple, or actually for one website that I know that you can find some pretty decent fiberglass rods, either hollow or solid. You can also find solid at Walmart. I'm pretty sure you can find it at Lowe's and Home Depot. The ones that I've been using recently, if you'll excuse me just one moment, are the it's from Miracle Grow. They're fiberglass stakes. They're mainly used for helping trees grow straight and for gardening purposes. I can't remember the overall, or I don't know the overall length, but you can find these, or I got mine at Walmart for like $2 and some change, but after taxes, depending on where you are, after taxes mine was like $3 a piece, which was comparably cheap to what I was getting off a website online. And but in my opinion, I prefer to use fiberglass because just with what I do, we take some pretty hard hits, and pardon me, and I want the product to last a while. So but yeah, the next one is kite spar. I believe I'm pronouncing that right, or I believe that's how it's spelled. It is a very lightweight core. I personally have not worked with it yet, but I do plan on ordering some in the near future, as where I'm kind of upgrading some of my builds. Sorry. Where with the anyway, I have not worked with it yet. I do plan on working with it, because I do plan on kind of updating some of my builds, because since I've started crafting, it's kind of changed over the years, because every time I learn something new, I immediately adapt to that. Because when I first started out, I was using duct tape handles, and when a fellow crafter noticed that I was using duct tape for my handles, he suggested get rid of your duct tape immediately, because especially in DAG, it's that duct tape handle is not really absorbing anything, and there's nothing there to support it, so it would eventually end up snapping. So when he posted how he does his handles, I immediately adapted to that, and since then I have strictly done that, and I really like that method. So I am giving a shout out to Fane, because he's a very, very well crafted, like most of his stuff, let me rephrase that, all of his stuff is of very high quality, almost like from the cross guard down looks almost real. The first thing that I saw of his was a live video of him working on a red weapon, a commission, and it was a Zweihander or two-hander. But what was interesting is that it had two cross guards. Yeah, I thought it was pretty wild. So I would literally watch how he does it, and he posted on, I can't remember where he posted it, but he posted how he does his handles, and I immediately stuck with that. Anyway, kite spar. Recently, I just obtained, or I have purchased a weapon that has a kite spar core, if I'm not mistaken. And from what I've kind of observed and like some videos and whatnot, that it's a very lightweight core and pretty easy to work with. But I really don't have a personal opinion about it because I've never worked with it yet. But I do plan on figuring out how to work with it and purchasing it, mostly. The last one that I can think of is band shot poles. With band shot poles, they're mostly used for like color guard, like flags and whatnot, and they come in different lengths, but however, they're not like the fiberglass and the PVC where they start out small and work their way up. No, they're either 6 foot or 8 foot, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't been on the website in a while, but with the band shot poles, they're mainly used for, well, in our community at least, for pole arms, such as glaives, and mostly spears. They are very lightweight, and the two commissions that I had both required band shot, so I had to talk to a fellow craftsmith that lives an hour away from me, and I asked him, hey, would you happen to have any? He's like, actually I do. Well, I know someone that does. And I went up there and got the cores and immediately jumped on to working on the project. In my honest opinion, I really like it. I mean, it's perfect for like long range weapons such as the spears and glaives, because they're so. I mean, they're just so long. I don't think fiberglass should be used, and not only just my opinion, but other crafters' opinions, because I had gotten a pretty big piece of fiberglass rod from Walmart that's similar to what I showed you, and I'm thinking of ways of how to use it, because I was going to turn it into a Omniblade glaive, and fellow crafters are like, don't do it, you'll end up breaking something. I'm like, alright, so I get to figure out what I'm going to do with it. But with the band shot poles, on a personal note, yes, I absolutely loved working with it. The only problem with me that I had with it is just the overall length, because right now I don't have a whole lot of space to work with it, so I literally had to grab my or my 4-foot long table and work on both projects outside. And with the spear, it didn't really take me all that long, because the fellow crafter that I got them from has suggested that I use pool noodle for like the haft of it, and then from there just blue foam I think it was 2 EVA discs, or EVA foam discs, should I say, and a yoga mat disc. And then from there the open cell foam, and that's what I did, and I think it turned out great. I put all our weapons have to have pommels that fit a certain diameter hole, and I actually went a little overboard on the pommel, which is a good thing. So for that, cores, you could use wooden dowels, but there are pros and cons to that. Pros, they would kind of give said object a little bit more weight to it, but the con is it probably wouldn't be the best for any kind of LARP, in my opinion. But the pro is with the dowel rod, you can get them whatever length you need, and you can find those at any craft store, and in different thicknesses as well. But with those would most likely be used besides PVC for cosplay props and weapons. But in some LARPs, you would have to talk to your weapons checker, or whoever does weapons and whatnot. I would check with them first, personally, before you go out and buy a dowel rod, make your weapon, and end up getting a big fat no on said weapon. for the heavy hitting LARPs, I definitely don't suggest it, because they'll snap even worse than PVC. But besides that, I really can't think of any other cores. If you have any core suggestions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll check it out and kind of give my opinion on it. But yeah, that's today's episode, and I hope that I have steered everyone that plans on building their own weapon or prop with anything that I suggested. So I'm gonna leave it at this, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good day.